This transmissions video is brought to you by PrimeToys.net. Check out PrimeToys.net for all the newest Transformers and third-party figures. PrimeToys.net. Collector-grade toys without the collector-grade prices. Okay, thank you for tuning in and joining us today. We've got a really cool interview that I think everyone's going to enjoy. What we have for you is we've got the creators of the Fans Project's Intimidator, or M3, basically Menasor add-on kit, and it's EchoTF and G.I.Eddie. Thanks for joining us, guys.
No problem. Happy to. You can just call me Eddie.
Oh, okay. Anytime I can drop the G.I. out of something, I love to.
Daryl's Canadian. He hates G.I. Joe.
No, I don't hate. I just don't see the need. Don't see the need for army and violence.
If I had been thinking about it when I first made the account, I would have probably made it G1 Eddie, but it was a carryover account from a different website or name.
Well, it's working for you now. So yeah, basically, guys, I just wanted to talk about what you created. You guys have a really cool idea that is ready to come out. It's I don't know. I mean, you guys probably have a better idea than I do. I mean, pre-orders are out. They're getting ready to be filled, and we've been kind of watching it on the podcast since its inception. And how close is it to being to coming out?
I'll start, Eddie, and then you can.
Yeah.
So I'll give you an idea of the current progress. So really good. So sometimes when you see the prototypes released or pictures of the kit, they're actually just 3D printed. In the case of the recent photos that everyone's been seeing, that's off production tooling.
Okay.
So that's always a good sign because the kit's fairly far along. Between Eddie and I, we've received and reviewed two different sets of test shots. So the first set of test shots were pretty rough. They had a few issues, and the next set of test shots that we've received here are much improved. And we're starting to see some early color samples, but the first samples that we saw didn't match the specifications. So we contacted DMY Studios right away, and so I think there's going to be an updated color approval, and there's still some details going on with instructions. And there's still a few packaging details to be finalized. So, it's probably still, several weeks away, I hate to say. The pace of this project is much, much slower than we anticipated. It's our first time working with DMY, so it's a little bit different than what it was like working with Transbots. And so, unfortunately, this one's just not going to be a rapid release, but it will come. I guarantee that we'll continue to push for it to get it done, and that DMY seems committed to getting it done. I mean, they made production tooling, so they need to recoup that investment, and they need to print some parts. So
yeah,
it's just a matter of getting it right. Like Eddie and I certainly don't want to release something that's not right. And,
no, that's the last thing. With everything that's been the slow pace so far, last thing we'd want to do is not have it come out at all or have some quality issues. That's all we need.
Mm-hmm. Now, Eddie, we were on the forums basically talking to people because there were issues that came up with the coloring that Steven just mentioned. And do you think that you've kind of solved a lot of those problems, or kind of calmed people's nerves a bit?
We're kind of waiting to see how that goes. We've talked with DMY and let them know our concerns, what we wanted and what at least the customers we've talked to wanted. they may have a different vision, and the only thing we can do is offer our input, and it will really be up to them to decide whether or not their vision, if they think it's more important. Hopefully, they'll think what the customers want is more important.
Mm-hmm. So essentially, I mean, you guys get a look, but you guys are essentially hands off right now, right?
At this point, we get to discuss with them, but really the final say will come down to what they decide.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it's exciting, and it's also a little scary. Your baby's out there, right? And you don't you want it to look good, and you want it to be well received, but it's out of your control, right?
Yeah, it's. I don't know. I guess I feel like it's probably like a big studio movie. These directors have this vision for a movie they want to create, but they have the studios that are giving them the money, making all the bigger decisions, and tell them, no, this is how it's going to be.
Yeah.
So it's tough to strike a balance. Hopefully, you have the same vision that the studio has.
Mm-hmm.
Just hope for the best. But yeah, it's I'll always have the parts that I made for myself. I'll have the shapeways pieces me and Steve made.
Yeah.
Worst case, I can paint the things I want, the color I want, but not every customer can do that. So that's kind of
true.
my hope is more for them than myself.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well, let's take it back a bit to the when you guys decided to do this. What specific issues with the Fans Project M3 or Intimidator did you set out to improve upon?
Initially, when I made the first pieces I made, which would have been the I think drag strip was the first figure that I wanted to be more G1. I wanted to have the little front spoiler and the 6 wheels.
Mm-hmm.
When I initially did that, I had no intention of it being, getting to where it is now. It was just something I did for myself, and the other board members, were quite interested in having their own set, and then having the relationship I had with Steve from or Echo from his Herc parts, Hercules parts. He asked if I wanted some help with the drag strip pieces and seeing if we could get something done with that, and that's how that happened. But initially it was just the drag strip parts. Everything else kind of evolved from there, what we wanted to see and what other people were suggesting they wanted to see.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of evolution. It was a fun little process.
Mm-hmm. So, like you said, it's a lot to do with drag strip, and that's kind of what I've noticed with looking at some of the pictures. Is the set heavily features parts for drag strip, as well as a spoiler for breakdown. And correct me if I'm wrong, but there is a piece that goes into the chest cavity around the neck of the Menasor head. Correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
That was another one that somebody on the boards had suggested. It wasn't really as big an issue for me or Steve or Echo. Dang, I keep doing that. And someone suggested it, so we whipped something up really fast, and it kind of took off. A little chest piece.
Mm-hmm. What other parts are there on there that I might be missing? I'm looking at a picture of it right now, and looking at it in combined mode. I mean, you can see some of the parts that are visually in prototype plastic, but some of the other ones that would be smaller can easily be missed. So what other pieces there would you have made?
No, that I was about to hold up a little piece I have, but there was some people had, or some of the members had suggestions, because having M3 when he holds his rifle, that takes away from the little forearm filler that goes for last chance.
Right.
so people had suggested a filler you could put in his forearm while he also wields his big rifle.
Okay.
That's you can peg all the little individuals guns into that, which also people had some concerns maybe about storing them in combined mode. So it kind of collects them all together in a nice little package.
Oh, that's cool. That's very cool. Nice.
What are some other things? What else am I forgetting, Steve?
Yeah, we got the
I'm looking at my pile of pieces here, trying to think.
yeah. So there's the little elbow fillers, and it's
Right.
interesting because Shadow Fisher came along and did just elbow fillers, but our kit includes some elbow fillers, and Eddie had the idea that the guns for Last Chance and Downforce can actually attach to the elbow fillers. So that's kind of nice. They split apart, and it adds a little bit of color into the elbow fillers on combined mode. So there's that. The other thing we looked at is replacement parts for the ankles. So
Okay.
what happens is there's a ratchet in the ankles, and there's only a ratchet on one side of the ankle, not either side of the joint. And the plastic wears. It's sort of that metallic type plastic, and it's somewhat soft. So the kit will include some replacement parts. So if yours are worn down,
Okay.
you can put those in. And we did some cycle testing on them. So they'll wear also. I mean, a bit of this is a design flaw, but it'll definitely freshen up the ankles, and should basically that little replacement part will wear. Hopefully not the ratchet inside the ankle. We did some testing to double check that. So basically, you can tighten up your ankles if it's starting to sag, which is a problem with the figure. And then part of the way, sort of later through the project, again, a lot of this was born with Eddie's idea on the forums, and then it was very crowd designed. But later on, people started asking for car weapons to kind of fill out the kit, and that was something that we debated pretty heavily whether we would go forward and do that. So we decided to go for it. We whipped up a few concepts. We were pretty excited how we came up with, and the weapons were really diverse in how they could be used. They could be split apart and held in each hand of each figure, or they could be combined and put on the vehicles, or they could be even used on M3. That there was just a lot of different ideas, and we designed them fully to do that. But at some point, that was removed from the kit by DMY. They did a survey to their market, and they determined that the market wasn't willing to pay for those extra parts or have those extra parts in the kit. So unfortunately, those got removed. But at one point, that was something that we wanted to include, and they were fully designed and prototyped.
Would you offer those as like a Shapeways download or a build or something like that?
We'd love to. We just have to get the permission.
Okay.
There is a contract at play. It's a tricky thing for both parties because of the distance, and certainly Eddie and I can't afford to travel to China to oversee things and meet face to face and that kind of stuff. I mean, people may not realize this is just a couple of fans.
Yeah.
Trying to get something produced. But that said, if we can get it established, negotiated, that it's acceptable that those go up, then that'd be great, because then we can get them in the hands of fans. We certainly had a lot of fun designing them and executing on them, and I think a lot of fans would enjoy them. So that'd be ideal. That'd be the plan. Right now we're more focused on getting the kit done. Like, I think that's the priority, and then once the dust settles there, we could follow on and negotiate and get those other parts available.
Did you?
Go ahead, Charles.
Oh, sorry. Did you consider going through Shapeways at the beginning rather than going through a production studio, or was this always the plan for you guys when you decided to go forward?
Thinking back, Eddie, I think we always kind of wanted to do production, didn't we?
Yeah, when you initially contacted me about it, that was the goal, to find somebody who'd be interested in producing it, and if that didn't happen, then obviously it would be very easy to take it to Shapeways.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was the initial goal.
Mm-hmm.
Shapeways pricing has gone up a lot over the last little while for certain kinds of parts. Depends on how things are kitted. So it's harder to, again, with the amount of money that people are investing in third party right now, upgrade kits are a tougher choice, I think, for customers now. So
Okay.
Shapeways, I think it's an option, but it would definitely reach fewer people, which is okay by us, but it's just a lot of people want it, and they want it for cheap. And so whatever we can do to get it out for cheap, that's the hardest part. I mean, design is really not an issue. Eddie's got great designs. I can design. We can build things together. It's just getting the production worked out. That's the harder thing as a fan designer these days, and get it out for a reasonable price in a reasonable amount of time. It's just a very hard thing to do these days.
Mm-hmm.
And people's attention spans are a little, with, like you said, everything coming out, it takes a year for something to get, or more, to get produced, and you start forgetting about stuff. All the new stuff coming out, it comes the latest craze.
Mm-hmm. Did you think about contacting Fans Project themselves about having them somehow market or attach to your upgrade kit or something?
No, that would have been really cool. But I don't know. You would wonder if they'd be insulted. What? You didn't like the product we gave you to begin with?
We were like tempted to chat with them at TFCon. There's some neat guys there, and we certainly really look up to them. It's that's an interesting question, Charles. That would be like the ultimate honor, I think, that they would partake in something like this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe less, maybe not as big of an honor, but I mean, your previous set, Echo, the Fall of Cybertron Bruticus set you did through Transbots. Did the idea to contact them come up?
Well, yeah. In some ways, it was segued through them.
Okay.
So it's all kind of in a similar channel, and they're separate companies. To my understanding, I don't know all the details, but it's part of the same contact that took place.
Cool. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, the set's really good, and I mean, I've got it pre-ordered myself because I love the Fans Project's Menasor figure, and I mean, I think everybody that has this thing needs to get it. I mean, I'm looking at it right now, and I think that this thing's just amazing. Have you guys kind of? I mean, it's still kind of early. The set hasn't been released yet, and we did see you were saying that there's still a couple tweaks you guys were hoping to get done on packaging. Now we saw the packaging that was shown off at I think it was the Shanghai Toy Show. How different are you thinking that might look like from that one?
I'm guessing probably quite similar, maybe some branding between us and DMY.
Okay.
That would be my personal guess between what might be different.
Yeah, I was
really good.
Eddie, like we basically supplied artwork for logos.
Okay.
And, we just wanted to ensure that the branding was there, the co-branding. But they'll probably have the typical DMY look. It's sort of like that crinkled paper with red ink and stuff, variation with. Pretty cool, actually. And they got some really. You can see that they've done some artwork where they've actually got the add-on parts on Intimidator.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nice to see him with downforce with 6 wheels.
Yeah, sketched out
and some abs. You know,
Yeah.
like, yeah. I've got the figure here. Like you can see the I don't know if it's gonna show. Whoops, on the
Yeah, let's take a look at that thing.
there's the abs, right? Like there's actually we've been working out.
Do you
Crunches
even
are
lift,
hard.
bro?
It's dedicated.
Yeah.
What was that, Charles?
I said, do you even lift, bro?
And all the plastic tolerances, obviously that went through rigorous testing and whatnot. So all of that is nice and tight, and what everything's, as far as the design of the figure or the set is solid, eh?
Even in the second test shot, Eddie and I had a list of some recommendations for further improvements. So the ball joints on the hands are improved, but our goal, like our sort of measure, is that he can hold up the sword without it falling down.
Right.
So we weren't there yet with test shot 2. Test shot 1, the ball didn't even stay in. It just so it's good sign. Like they would, and it's funny when you make a change in production tooling, it's not like they can just go and make a tweak. Like they actually got to go and burn in with electrodes and potentially add some weld and stuff. Like it's a fairly big deal. So tightening up tolerances takes time. So and the other hand is again an improvement, but it's still not quite holding up the weight of the sword. So those ball joints are going to be important, and so we were sure to communicate that. And the overall, like the this sort of wing part, and Eddie did the sculpt, and then we together sort of worked out some of the extra details on the joinery. It's really improved now. Like the first kit, they even had kind of a little tooling error that they fixed, and they've done a really, really good job in getting the tolerance. Like the fit is just it's probably up to what most people would expect. I was quite happy with that.
That looks really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Eddie unfortunately hasn't had a chance to handle the second test shots because we're not in the same location.
Country.
But yeah. But he's got the first one. So but he and I have shared notes on this one. But these little wheels and their little ball joints and stuff, there's the right amount of sort of friction and then the fit of this this is the replacement canopy. Right? For those that might have cracked their canopy, it's sort of an odd design. It actually can only turn one way.
Yeah.
Why Fan's project designed it that way. There must have been a plan at the time, but long and short of it is this one is omnidirectional. It doesn't matter which way it turns. And if you had a little crack there, you can replace it. And Eddie, I think we spec this one to be black, right? So it looks kind of more like
we called for either black or smoked, their choice. One or the other. We figured those would look the best. The one they showed in that packaging turned out to be they painted blue. So we'll see what they end up going with after. We say, hey, we were hoping for smoked or black. Could we get one of those colors instead? So
yeah, we'll really
see.
prefer it not to be blue. Like the existing part's blue, and I think part of your design intent there, Eddie, too, is that it was more consistent with the other canopies, the other windshields on the vehicles. So it just kind of
Right.
Nice look, right? So hopefully that'll get sorted. And then the elbow fillers tolerances were improved quite a bit. Like this one was popping out fairly easy. It's still a little bit, but much better than it was before. And these little wheels, this is a fairly challenging fit requirement. Let me just see if I can get in the camera. These little wheels just cap on top of the existing wheels. Like it's a little tiny wheel cap, and that just pops on top and with friction. So our goal there was that this could spin without popping off, and works really well. So they made all sorts of little tweaks like that, which I think is a really, really good sign. Trying to think of other things. Oh, Eddie, we should just demo this part that you're.
The way the Oh, okay.
The chest filler is just brilliant.
Right.
So it's really neat because Eddie did a mock-up, and then he sent me all the dimensions, and
I can't
then
believe how that turned out.
I can't believe how it turned out. And then we did the CAD model, and then we sent it to Shapeways, and we both ordered from Shapeways, and we were just like kids at Christmas waiting for that to come. And then, Eddie was demoing me the manually created, like the fabricated part that he had done. And we were like, man, is there any way that the Shapeways part is going to work that well? And it did. And
Wow.
here's it's just really slick how this, so you can see what I do is I fold down these little, almost like little doors on either side of the Intimidator's head.
Yeah.
I'm just opening those up. And then this just slides out like that.
Wow.
It is just a really neat little part, and they did a great job on the tooling on this. And you just like pop that in, and that's it, done. Close it up.
That's amazing. It's so much bigger than I thought it would be, but it works really well.
It is quite a sophisticated piece, and again, there's lots of little details in it to make it clear various things. And Eddie,
I think the most challenging part was getting it to clear to fit in the trailer.
It goes in the trailer?
Yeah, that was it. When I first set out to make it, I didn't think that it was gonna fit in the trailer. I didn't design it to. It was just gonna be something that you set aside or whatever. But I went back and carved some sections out of it to get it to fit in there, and it fits in there nice and snug and doesn't jiggle around, and
That's awesome.
Worked out.
You can almost see that there's a Dremel, Eddie? There's a Dremel size cutout in there.
Yep.
Awesome. But he sent me all the drawings, like to make this in CAD, which is really neat. And then I sent him. Eventually, we started doing it on the iPad, where I'd send him the 3D file, and he could check the dimensions against his prototype part. And it was a really fun back and forth. Because usually I do the design myself, but in this case, Eddie had done a lot of the groundwork on the project, so I was more helping him get it to the production level. So we make minor adjustments for molding. An example would be like in these little. Hopefully, you guys don't mind us talking about all this detail here, but
no.
We, in these little spoiler parts, originally were very thick and full, and you can't mold anything like that. So we hog these all out so that you could mold it for a reasonable price and still have them fit nicely when they attach to the downforce. So those are the kind of things that we did together, which is really fun. Lots of late nights back and forth, wives with rolling eyes and whatnot, and get the details right.
Yeah. No, it looks really good, and I'm excited about it. So basically, I mean, the long and short of it is you guys are waiting for DMY to get back to you and let you know that everything's good and they're the colors match and it's coming out on X day kind of thing, right?
Yeah, like we have it stipulated that we approve pre-production before they go and do many of them. So in theory, both Eddie and I have like a pre-production sample in hand before we say, yeah, go make lots.
Mm-hmm.
That's the goal. Again, it's hard. These guys they're taking the risk. They're in China. They've got a schedule they got to keep. We're not there day to day, but if all works out well, we'll get one more look at it before we say, yeah, we're happy. And even if that's pictures where we're happy with the color and confirmation that these fit issues are where they are, if that's what it takes to get it done, we'll get it done.
Right on.
Yeah, it's kind of their reputation, I guess, what the production samples look like, or production pieces look like. I think it would be in their best interest for it to be, everything be as tight fitting as possible and snap in well. that's all on them at this point. So I think, with them stamping their name on it, they're going to want to get that as good as can be.
Mm-hmm.
Looking forward to a production piece of.
The step up from the first samples to the second is indicative of the commitment to that fit quality. So, sorry.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. I'm excited about it. I think that the price is really good on it. I mean, let's just bring it up here again. It's $48, and that's quite good. I mean, some of the sets out there are over 50, and you're getting less than this. So I'm excited about it. If we could change gears a little bit, I'm interested to know. I don't even know. Maybe you don't even want to comment on it. But what are your opinions of Apollyon? If you've seen one.
That's so funny.
Even I mean, Echo, you might even have too much invested into this, but your past relationship with X-Transbots. But I'm interested to know what you guys think.
You want to go first, Eddie, or you want me to go?
It's just funny because what you were just showing me.
Yeah. In our little hangout just before this, I was showing Eddie that I had just got my Apollyon yesterday. It just arrived yesterday.
Yeah.
So I haven't had a chance to transform it. It's a really, really great sculpt. They've just done a fantastic job on the sculpt, no question. I just anybody doing this line of work right now, all I can say is I have the deepest respect for what they're trying to do, and we don't know all the details. We don't know really what goes on behind the scenes as fans. People like Eddie and I maybe know a little bit more because we're actually trying to produce this stuff, and we have the headaches when parts don't fit and things like that. So that they even finished Apollyon and shipped it.
They did it pretty quickly too.
And it's unbelievably complicated. And I think there's more engineering that goes into that thing than a modern car. I'm joking, but all that said, I think it's good. I think it's again to have somebody alongside MP10. I highly recommend that. It is very, very complicated. It is a lot of different materials going on there, and when you do that, there's issues, and so I think it's a tremendous accomplishment, and I think it'll be the number one Megatron for some time at least, and big kudos to them. I mean, is it going to be perfect? Again, handling it, there's a lot of parts there, but. I'm excited. I can't wait to try to transform it, and I'm gonna really take my time. I think it's one of those things where you have a beer nearby, and
that might not be a good idea.
Or don't.
Don't.
Parts all over the place.
Fans against fans transforming drunk.
Mm-hmm. So maybe like a Prozac or something like that.
Something to calm you down.
Yeah, something to calm you down.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be interesting.
I get the feeling with like Megatron in general is something that it's like Icarus, where you're flying too high, you're getting too close to the sun, where it's a figure that's just so, the idea of having a cartoon accurate Megatron that can also transform into a realistic looking gun. It seems like an impossible feat. So I think it's a real feat of engineering, and I think if you're going that close to perfection, it's going to be a complicated transformation. I don't think there's a way to avoid that.
No, there's going to be a lot of, especially to get those legs to turn into a moderately narrow handle. You're going to have to do some really complicated work there. Personally, they could, if the handle was humongous and ridiculously fat, I wouldn't care so much as the robot mode looked really good. I'm always open to compromises to get that mode to look really good.
Mm-hmm.
Have you gotten it, Eddie?
I haven't. It's been in my cart and then taken out of my cart multiple times. I'm trying to stay away from the Masterpiece line. I was already, I don't want to get into too many lines and all these different scales, so I'm trying to stick to one. But I picked up one of the KO cars, which one I think Sideswipe is the one I ended up picking up. I was like, you know what, it's $30-something. I'll just pick it up and see how it goes. And I started getting sucked in. I'm like, no, stop, take a step back. So it's tough. I keep picking up some of these figures and trying to avoid others. No, I haven't gotten it yet. I'm trying not to. It's tough.
Well, we'll get off of the Apollyon subject because it's too much. there's too much to discuss there issue-wise. But I want to know if you guys have discussed a predecessor to the Intimidator set.
We've mulled around some ideas. Nothing's been. I kind of feel like we're a little bit busy right now to be actually taking another step, and I think just focusing on getting out the quarter mile kit is, the first hurdle. Like let's get that one finished before we tackle anything else.
Okay, well, let's say hypothetically that you may notice a figure that has an issue that you want to fix. What would that figure be?
Steve, anything?
Yeah, I think. Well, I've got my sort of shapeways thing always going on, and the overhead's much lower. It's quick. It's again, you got the problems with price and finish, but so I've done some work on Uranus, TFC, since that, and I did some work on actually MMC Predaking, or sorry, MMC Earl Rex, I should say.
Yeah.
And that it was interesting because I kind of did it. It was a bit of a selfish project in that I didn't like.
I think most of these projects are.
They are. I didn't like the toes. I thought that they did a nice sort of G1 looking cannon toe thing, but I felt like they were pointing up or they're pointing out kind of, and it drove me bananas. Yeah. It's a silly thing, right? You kind of everyone has their own little detail that they want to tweak or whatever. And I didn't like the guns on his back because I thought the guns were too spindly. Like Predaking should have big cannons. And then something I sort of learned from working with Eddie was the way the hands, it's nice to have the hands be able to curl when you're posing. So I made a few parts that did that. And they weren't very well received, unfortunately. But I'm super happy myself.
That's all that matters.
I've sold like 2 or 3 kind of thing, but I'm happy on mine. I think it looks great. So as long as I'm happy, But Eddie and I again, like to what I said, once we can get past this sort of project and just get it in the vault, like I'm sure we'll do something again because he's so easy to work with. I feel we work well together. I'd be excited to do something like this and something intricate. Eddie, I think you got the skills with the intricacy there. Like something.
I liked that idea for Quantron, getting something to fill up his back and turn into some kind of neck thing. I like where we're going with that.
Yeah, we got to go back to that. That was kind of neat to look at the head and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we'd like to go back to something soon.
Right on.
Yeah.
Will you guys be at TFCon this year?
Go ahead. Oh, okay. I was waiting for Eddie. I will be. Eddie, I don't think you can make it this year, though, can you?
I don't know. Is it going to be in Toronto again?
Yeah, it's in Toronto again.
I don't know. It'd be nice if DMY could have the kit out by then to be there to be able to promote it. It'd be a good purpose and a reason for me to make that drive. But otherwise, I don't know.
Well, there's also a TFCon in Charlotte in October, so maybe that's another possibility too.
The one in Chicago last year, actually, I should have went to that one. That was only, I'm in Detroit, so that's only 4 hours away from me. But the one in Charlotte, that's much further.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're super close to the Toronto one, just a 4-hour drive. That's not
it's
much.
the same as going to the one in Chicago either way.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be really cool though if the kit was out for TFCon. You guys could just get a whole bunch of kits and sell them at the show. That'd be nice.
Yeah, it'd definitely be fun interacting. With last year we just had little prototypes there, but it'd be fun interacting with people with a finished product.
Mhm. Yeah, no, that'd be sweet.
So yeah, I think my issue right now would be convincing the wife again. I think if we had a bigger purpose, like going there to promote something and interact with people, she might be a little more on board.
Well, Toronto's a fun city.
It is. We had a good time last year. Coming from Detroit, it's an incredibly nice city.
Yeah.
It's like it's like Beverly Hills, kind of nice comparatively. I was amazed.
Yeah, we got the nice big aquarium now. You can take the kid and the wife to the aquarium, and plus we got your coach now, man. We got your coach.
The last time I was in Chicago before this past year was in 6th grade. I went there for a field trip, and that was my last experience. So I don't think I really had any kind of grown-up eyeballs to notice one place being nicer than the other. But the older I am, I've noticed, wow, Detroit's really crappy. What are they doing differently? In 6th grade, that wasn't even on my radar.
That's awesome. Well, I'd like to wrap it up here with you guys. Let you guys get back to your evening. Did you want to promote Echo your Shapeways? Where can people get you on Shapeways there?
Yeah, I think the link is shapeways.com/EchoTF. I have to send. I could probably send you guys the exact link, but I believe it's just /EchoTF or Echo Transformer.
Okay.
And yeah, the store is there. There's lots of stuff listed. I actually just made an adjustment to all my pricing.
Okay.
So almost all the prices dropped. What happened is in some Shapeways pricing adjustments, it didn't readjust some prices. So I was on there the other day and I was like, oh, that's not good. I got to fix that. So pricing should be all cleaned up and normalized. And yeah, all the kits sell well on Shapeways. The Predaking one is the Furl Rex one is kind of the exception. And I really, really appreciate. I get a lot of people that contact me and buy, and we talk and stuff, and I just really appreciate all the support on that store. So thank you.
You do good work. You deserve it. Are you on Twitter yet?
No, I don't. I don't tweet, and I do have I have my Facebook page. That is
right.
EchoTF Toys, and I should post more. But I do post occasionally there, and I like to post updates, and sometimes I'll post concept sketches or videos or things of that nature. So that's probably the best place to see me reach out. And yeah,
awesome.
EchoTF Toys on Facebook.
And Eddie, where can we find you?
Nothing to promote.
Nothing. Nobody can find you anywhere.
TFW, Eddie. TFW.
I don't have a Facebook. I haven't decided. I'm trying not to conform yet.
Screw the system.
Yeah. Like I said, this is the first time I'm using this little video feature on my laptop. I just hang out at some forums and occasionally do some custom work, and something turns into something bigger than it does. It's playing it pretty casual.
Well, we'll link to your thread on TFW talking about the upgrade kit.
Okay.
Yeah.
That works.
Well, I think once people start getting a look at your set here, you're going to get a lot more requests for at least custom work or popularity-wise, you're going to be a little bit more busy. It's good. It's a good set, man.
Oh, thank you. It was it's been fun. Definitely. I like the interaction with everybody. Kind of making it happen almost as a community. It feels. I don't know. It's just something I personally I like doing for fun as opposed to trying to make a business out of it. If that happened, cool. If not, no big deal.
Mm-hmm. Right on. Awesome. Well, thank you again, guys, for joining us. This has been awesome. I'm really excited about the kit, and I was really excited when you responded to my email for an interview request, and I was like, oh yes, I'm going to get to talk to these guys about this awesome set. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting it, and yeah, if I can see you guys at TFCon, Charles and Yoshi from the show are going to be there as well, so we're going to hang out
Yes, sir.
talk some toys.
Well, thanks for having us.
Yeah. Charles, did you want to wrap it up and throw it back to the show? Because I think we got comics coming up, buddy.
All right, yeah. So this has been a special interview segment from TransMissions podcast. This is part of our a special segment being inserted into the toy section of our show, and right after this we'll get into some comics. So if you're watching the video on YouTube, be sure to check out our podcast, the full podcast, at www.transmissionspodcast.com. You can see that below. There should be links below in the YouTube description, so be sure to check that out. And thanks again to EchoTF and G.I.Eddie for joining us and giving us a little bit of the inside scoop on their upgrade kit for Fans Project or Fans Toys Intimidator. I think I got one of those is wrong.
Fans Project.
But yeah, so we'll definitely see you next time, and don't forget to check us out on and give us all those nice things, reviews and supporting us and all that stuff. So
awesome.
Thanks.
Absolutely. I'll repost to the Facebook page.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks.
You guys put it live.
So will I.
Yeah. Eddie, you just make sure you tell some people you meet on the street, okay?
Okay. Hey, you're wearing a Transformer shirt. There's something you might want to know about.
Hey. Awesome. Thanks a lot, guys.
No problem. Thank you.
No problem.
Oh, thank you.